Today we're diving into the controversial new platform, FAB. For those of you who aren't familiar, FAB is Epic's latest attempt to consolidate Quixel Bridge, Kitbash Cargo, Sketchfab, and several other asset marketplaces into a single hub. Now on the surface, this sounds like a positive step, right? And in the future, it just might be. But as of this recording, I have to say, who really asked for this? Now before we dig in, let's remember the age-old wisdom: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now on a high level, I do get the appeal here. Epic owns or partners with multiple IPs, each with its own shop, so why not merge them into a convenient one-stop shop? Conceptually, that does make sense. But often the reality doesn't live up to the idea, and I think that's what happened here. Opening the site, you're met with a modern yet clunky UI. It's packed with Unreal assets, individual file types, and a wave of AI-generated content. Thankfully, there is a filter for AI assets that mostly works, but the other filters, not so much. Sorting seems random. You might search for an FBX file, only to end up with a pack of U assets for Unreal Engine instead. Why? Because creators tag their asset packs, and the broader the tags, the more visibility they get. So what's stopping someone from tagging an Unreal pack as FBX included? Technically, you can export an FBX from a project after all. And even if the pack does include multiple platforms, which assets are covered? There's no preview demand for each file type, leaving the buyer to guess. Then beyond this, the new commercial option has sellers now posting packs for, in some cases, hugely inflated costs. And sure, the personal license is still the default, but what if you're a new developer with commercial intent? Are you even safe buying the personal license? Let's say you're a solo dev who buys a personal license and your game hits that $100,000 threshold. I assume you now have to buy the commercial license. Does the price of the personal license get factored into the equation? It's all just additional confusion where there was none. Then, to top all this off, some sellers are straight up ripping off other products, like this one right here. This is obviously Quixel Megascans, so what's this even doing here? This guy even tried to be sneaky by only charging $1 for it. This only brings up the subject of the legal gray area with copyright issue. Here is someone selling a model of Goku, a famous anime character, now figurine. What are the legal licensing implications here, and how is this even allowed? I assume most of us don't have connections with Toei in this example to get approval for such things, so how is this even allowed? And this is only one of many instances of this sort of behavior. What floors me the most about the licensing and stealing of other creators' work is the process for getting a pack approved is actually quite intensive. I myself went through 3 revisions as they were very strict. So how are assets like these slipping through the cracks, especially considering one of the categories involves licensing and commercial rights to sell any given asset? It's also confusing, and the standards seem to be all over the place, quite frankly. Some creators definitely benefit from FAB. Kitbash and Big Medium Small, for example, previously sold exclusively through their own sites, and FAB now gives them a broader audience, so it's a win. But if there's one entity I think this new marketplace hurts most, it's Quixel. The FAB plugin will replace Quixel Bridge, and that's a loss. Sure, you might say, well, what's the problem? Now we have Megascans and other assets in one place, shouldn't it be simpler? But it's more than that. Quixel Bridge stood out for its streamlined organization and ease of integration. With Bridge, everything was intuitive. You'd download an asset, drag it into the scene, and it remembered your downloads. Simple, effective, and fast. Now though, you have to select the format, download a zip file, and once you open it, you're faced with cryptic file names. You still need to import everything, set up materials, and so on. For any standard engine workflow, this isn't unusual, but this is what happens when you fix something that wasn't broken. Sure, there's the FAB plugin for Unreal Engine, and it has a My Library, but searching for specific Quixel assets is a pain. Typing in Megascans renders you nothing, and when you finally are able to import an asset, you're met with hieroglyphic descriptions for the asset as opposed to the standardized asset descriptions we're used to. Now the silver lining to all this is that FAB did just launch, so some growing pains are expected, and feedback will hopefully lead to improvements. Now I've worked with Epic, and they have talented people who genuinely want to make the best possible product. So if you're listening, guys, you know what to do. Now despite my criticism, I do think this is par for the course. Rarely does an initial launch ever really go as expected or live up to the hype, and I have no doubt Epic is currently working to resolve these issues, and I look forward to a more streamlined and functional future with their marketplace. Now thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.